Okay, I think we're at a minute after, so we'll go ahead and get started. Welcome everyone to today's Funeral Home Advantage webinar. We're going to cover email marketing. So just going to go ahead and jump in. I am Jackie Stafford. I am our Director of Internal Marketing, and I've got a number of members of our marketing team on the call. They'll introduce themselves as they start their sections. But to start out with, email marketing is a really great tool for a number of reasons. So it's a great way to build relationships with your customers. It's a great way to increase engagement and loyalty with those same customers. And you can also use email marketing to drive sales or develop new leads. And you can use it as a way to share valuable information with your customers. And that sort of sharing can build trust, which will help you in the sales process. So email marketing can be really easy and low cost. It's a great way to communicate with both your existing and future clients. However, there are some rules about what you can send and who you can send it to. So let's start out by talking about the different types of email. The first is going to be one-on-one emails. So these are sent directly to a client that you're already in contact with. This is probably what you think of when you think of email. There really aren't a lot of restrictions about this. It's a great way to communicate, but obviously that kind of one-on-one sending is really time consuming. So next is email marketing, which is what we're going to be focused on today. So email marketing is automated or bulk emails sent through a third-party provider. You can use this to contact large groups of people at the same time. And it's a really great way to save time because of that. But your recipients must have opted into receiving those emails. And also you have to give a way for those recipients to unsubscribe or opt out of your emails. There is a third type of email called cold emails. These are sent to someone that has not agreed to receive emails. It's generally not dealt with you in the past. So these are used for outreach. It's low cost. However, you don't get a lot of high returns for it. These are emails that are a lot of time, caught by spam filters or blocked by a provider like Gmail or Outlook. Also, there are some rules that we'll go over later in our program here that affect what you can send as well. So just make sure that you're really proceeding with caution if you're reaching out to people that have not given you permission to contact them. So next, let's talk about the benefits of email marketing. It's a great way to contact a large number of customers at once. You can personalize each email with data like the customer's name or their information, so it feels more personal and builds connection with them. It's a great way to develop, a pretty and professional communication piece to reach out to your customer. And then there are some great built-in features with the providers that will give you things like email footers and unsubscribe links that help you comply with the regulations that we'll talk about a little bit later in our presentation. So there are some barriers that you face when dealing with email marketing. The first is going to be the Can Spam Act. So this is federal legislation that kind of controls what you can send and who you can send it to. So you're up against that. You're also up against spam filters. I'm sure all of you have had, some email you were expecting land in your junk folder. This is what that is. So you want to, when you're sending, avoid spamming words so that your emails don't get caught by that and, not read by your recipients. Email providers are looking to, protect their customers, so they will also be on the lookout for emails that look spammy. They can do a lot of things like block your messages, block sending from your entire email address, or even the entire domain that you're sending from. So you really want to make sure that your emails are not looking suspicious to those email providers, so that you can actually land in people's email inboxes. Once you do land in their email inboxes, you want to make sure of a couple things. The first is that your open rate is good. So that is that people are, actually clicking on your email, reading it, that sort of thing. And then you also want to track things like your click-through rate. So if open rate is just they open your email, click-through rate is getting them to accomplish some sort of action in response to that. So, are they clicking on the link to your website? Are they calling you to set up an appointment? That sort of thing. So, you want to watch those to make sure your email is accomplishing its goals. There are also a number of email providers that you can work with to develop these kind of emails. So, like MailChimp, Constant Contact, HubSpot, those are really big players, but there are a ton of different providers out there. We don't recommend a specific one. It's really just about finding the one that works best for you, the needs that you have, and your price point. Another great thing that you can do with email marketing is something called an email journey. So, this is an email or a series of emails that are automatically sent to your client. This is something that you create once, and then it's kind of infinitely repeatable. So it's triggered by something automatically that either you or your customer does. So that's something like signing up for an email list, downloading a free resource from your website, maybe commenting on an online obituary, registering for an event that you're having, something that triggers this process to start. So you're going to want to make sure that when you give people the chance to register for things, that you are including an email opt out. Email opt in confirmation to kind of start that process and to confirm that you have permission to email these people. Take a look at a couple of email journeys just as an example of what you might want to do. So, say a customer registers for an event on your website, you could then send them a reminder about the event. After a few days, you could follow up with details about the event. Maybe follow up after the event and check in and see how it went or how they're feeling about it. And then maybe a little bit after that, consider an additional email that will, push your client to make a decision or an action that you're looking for, like, schedule an appointment, that sort of thing. Here's a second option of what an email journey can look like. So, in this situation, say that a customer downloads some sort of free resource from your website, you can then send them an email with that resource, maybe follow up a week after that with additional links to other resources that you have available. And then after that, you can follow up with a link to contact you, to set up an appointment, that sort of thing. So this way you can kind of like nurture your leads along. And an email journey is a really great way to do that. And then I will state the number one rule of email marketing is really just make sure that your email list has agreed to receive that email from you. So you can see here we've got the little confirmation. Yes, I agree to receive this information via email. There are a number of different ways to phrase that, but you want to make sure that it's very clear and they know what they're agreeing to. So that'll help you avoid a lot of problems that you can run into with sending emails. So it's really just a way of covering yourself legally and making sure that the relationships you're building are starting on a good footing. So now that I've kind of covered the overview of emails, I'm going to hand it off to Maddie on our call here, who's going to talk to you more about the purpose of sending emails and some of the content that you can use in those.
Hey everybody, I'm Maddie. I'm the senior graphic designer here on the marketing team. Like Jackie said, we're going to move into discussing the purpose of email marketing, the different types of content that you can use within your emails, and finding the why behind your messaging. Email marketing serves a different purpose than, say, a retail business. It's less about flashy promotions and more about building trust, offering comfort, and staying connected to your community. It's a mix of education, compassion, and subtle promotion. There are a few different reasons that email marketing is purposeful coming from the funeral home. It builds on a relationship while creating trust, the ability to educate those within your community, promote pre-planning services and what makes you and your team unique, and of course, it keeps you top of mind. Just like social media, there are tons of different types of content that you can send out in these marketing emails. Emails that contain educational articles or guides, something like the 5 benefits of pre-planning your funeral, event invites to seminars, memorial services, and holiday remembrance events. Seasonal and holiday messages are really big and probably some of the most seen. Sending those out around the big holidays like Christmas or more personal ones like Mother's Day or anniversaries. Testimonials are a really big push to grab the reader's attention, but to also build on that trust that I mentioned a little bit earlier, knowing that someone else has trusted your funeral home, they were taken care of, and felt good about the services you provided, gives others that same feeling of trust. When we clarify the why behind your email marketing, We're essentially answering why are we sending this email and what emotional or practical need does it meet for our audience. From a funeral home perspective, that why should be rooted in empathy, trust, and service, not just informational delivery. You want your emails to continue to build on that trust with your audience, show what you have to offer, and how your team is there every step of the way. It is so important to approach this topic with both sensitivity and clarity. Sensitivity because we understand the emotional weight of what's being discussed, and clarity because people deserve to know what their options are in plain, respectful terms. And you know it best when families are informed, they can make decisions that reflect their values and their hearts. So once you've figured out who your audience is, you can start creating copy for your emails. So you want to start with the why in mind. Why are you sending this? What do you want your reader to feel or do? You want to start with the why in your opening lines of the email so it shows your intention. This will read as genuine to your reader, giving them the opportunity to feel pulled to read the rest. It should read like you're having a one-on-one conversation with them. So take out the jargon and make your voice feel real and understanding. Keep your messages short and meaningful. No need to bog them down with heavy information. Give them clear points and short paragraphs. So examples of a CTA could be learn more, join us, or explore your options. No need to bog down your email with information that isn't valuable to them. Your audience will continue to read your email because they can glean something from it. Clarity is extremely important within these types of emails. So using visuals to support your message can also be really important. If you're using photos, try to stay away from stock photos. Authentic looking ones of your team or events that you've hosted can be informative to your reader. And always make sure that your wording is accurate. So double check that event times, dates, locations are correct and easy to understand. To sum up this section, here's an example of a seminar invite email. You can see our clear why statement here. Funeral planning isn't easy, but it can bring peace of mind. In this pre-planning email, in this seminar email, excuse me, you want to let the reader know that they aren't alone in this feeling or process. It's difficult to think about death and even more so to think about your own, but we have seen firsthand that it brings peace of mind to others and their families. Then as we go on through the body of the paragraph, you have information about the seminar that's happening, a short list of bullet points over what the seminar will cover, and then closing that body paragraph, reinforcing your why again. And of course, at the very end, you have your call to action with a reserve a spot today.
Hello, my name is Shawnee, and today I'll talk about the rules and regulations to email marketing. So, the first thing you need to know is about the Can Spam Act. The federal law passed in 2003 and it outlines the rules for sending commercial emails, especially important when you're reaching out to families or your community. Here's what you need to know first. Use accurate sender info. Your name, reply address, and sender info all need to clearly show who's sending the message. The second thing, be clear in your subject lines. If it's about a service, event, or update, don't try to trick people into opening it. Honesty builds trust. Third, if it's a marketing message, label it. You need to let people know it's a promotional message unless they've already given you permission. The fourth thing is make sure to include your physical address in every email, whether that's your funeral home address or a registered PO box. Fifth, include a simple way to unsubscribe. People need to be able to opt out at any time. The sixth thing, you have to honor opt-out requests within 10 business days. It's not optional and shouldn't be hard to do. And last, you are responsible even if you use a marketing company or software. Compliance is on you. So keep your email outreach clean and compliant. It helps protect your reputation and avoid legal issues. And this is an example of what an email opt-out will look like.
Okay, so now I'm going to talk about how we can get those email address. So There are 6 ways on how we can get those email addresses. One is from leads, other one is from event, existing customers, social media, website, and or visitors book. So now I'm going to go through each one of these ones. And the first one, it's old leads. So families are families who already reach out to you in the past, or you reach out to them. They may have attended to a seminar, fill out an online form, or contact you for more information, refer different ways, right? And since they already know your funeral, reconnecting can be much easier now. So their circumstances may have changed, uh, making them more open for a pre-need or after service now. Events, community events, grief support groups, or educational nights are excellent opportunities to collect emails. Have a clear sign-up method, paper form, tablet, or even a QR code, and offer them value to sign up on that. You can offer them a free funeral planning checklist, maybe a giveaway as well, but you have to offer them something in exchange of their email. And then it's very important to connect with them. You can talk to them, ask about their needs, about their experience before, so you know about their background. If you're presenting at an event, invite them to attend to the sign up, to the site to sign up to receive more details, planning guide, or grief sources. And it's very important to follow up with them 24 to 28 hours to keep the connection fresh. Existing customers, they are a strong source of emails. Review their past service files and update any missing information on their email address. During a follow-up call, you can say, "Can I send you a digital copy of your arrangement for an easy access?" And that's how you can get their email. And another important thing is to always double check that the email is correct so you can have the right information. So now we are going to talk about social media. And social media, it's one of the greatest ways to get these new emails. This is a great way to reach out beyond your current families. So get these new leads. You can offer value sources like download or free funeral planning checklist, or a sign up for a grief support newsletter if you have, or a blog. You can use lead forms from platforms like Facebook and Instagram that are already built in there. So this can be much easier for your audience to click on that. You can also promote webinars or community events that require an email registration. You can also do giveaways, like I said before, and these are great resources for people to sign up and you can have their email. And remember that you can always direct social media followers to join your email list so you can maintain relationships outside the platform, outside Instagram, Facebook, or LinkedIn. And talking about keeping connections, another really good way is using your website. Your website should be a 24/7 email collecting tool. You have to add forms to download resources, event registrations, and all the many options that I gave you before, but you can do it on your website as well. Again, offer them value. Again, another example, a free pre-planning checklist, a grief book, a cost guide, something in exchange for their email. So make these forms visible, added to multiple pages, not just to the home page, so you can have more opportunities for people to sign up and get their emails. And lastly, visitors book. This is a great source in your customers or visitors books. There are two ways you can use these ones: on existing customer records, revisit past service files and update those missing emails. And another way is when you get guests, use this guest book as a service, collect attendance, and ask them to add their email on forms, so you can email them after to follow up. If you have a digital registration book or an online one, include a checkbox so visitors choose to receive or not the emails. This ensures you completely for the privacy and laws that Jackie and Shani spoke before. So remember, email marketing is about building trust and staying present, not about selling. Collecting emails from all the touch points that you have, events, all leads, customers, social media, and web on the website. Use all your resources to get these emails and make this connection with your potential clients.
Thank you, Camille. So like we mentioned today, email marketing can be a really great resource. There are a number of ways that you can kind of gather those emails, and it's a great thing to utilize if you're not already. We will now give you guys a couple minutes to add any questions that you might have had to the chat. So let me actually adjust that and make sure. Okay, everyone should be able to add questions to the chat now. If there's something you've got questions about, go ahead and type that. We'll give you guys just a couple of seconds to do that. And then if we don't have any questions, we'll go ahead and wrap it up today. While we're giving you a second for those questions, I will mention that we've recorded a number of these webinars in the past. And we encourage you to, check out our YouTube channel and the follow-up links that we send out as a way of, catching up on those things. We've covered a number of great things, reaching out to clients and potential customers over social media. We've covered, your Google business profile, how to manage reviews, that sort of thing. We had a recent one about testimonials, which was really great because those can be a great way to kind of build trust with your clients. So we really encourage you to go back and watch our previous ones if you weren't able to join us for all of those. Okay, it doesn't look like we've gotten any additional questions in the chat today, so I think I'm going to go ahead and wrap it up here. I really appreciate all of you that joined us today, and we hope that you guys have great luck with your marketing efforts. Have a great day.